right. Hey everyone. My name is Holly Von Lincoln, and I am one of the graduate assistants in the counseling center, or at the counseling center. And so today we are going to be making cookies. So most people I think out there really love cookies. I love baking. For me, it's really therapeutic. It's a good stress reliever. A lot of people find that baking is just one of those things that's really calming. So, as we are navigating all of this fun virtual learning this semester and maybe into next semester, if you find yourself just like really wanting to, take a break and do something different, bake something. So today we're going to make chocolate chip cookies. And this is one of those recipes I feel like I pretty much have memorized at this point. My favorite is the Nestle Toll House recipe. And so I'm going to share with you my screen for a second and show you. This is what it is. If you've ever bought a package of the Nestle Toll House cookies, the recipe's on the back. But these are the instructions we're going to follow. So if you're wanting to make this exact same recipe at home, you can take a screenshot of this real quick just so you have it. Or again, you can always find it on the back of that, of those chocolate chip packages. So this is our recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat the oven. So you can follow along with me. Welcome to my kitchen. I feel kind of like a Food Network star, even though not really. All right, so we're going to bake. Let's see, 375 is what we're starting at. Okay, so it is working on getting warmed up. I had something in there earlier, so there we go. So hopefully it'll probably even go a little bit early. It'll be speedier. So our first thing that we're going to do is we are going to combine our flour, our baking soda, and our salt. So I've got my flour over there in a canister. I've got my baking soda right here, and got my salt right here. Most of these things I kind of just keep in my kitchen at all times. Today I only had one stick of butter though. So for this recipe, it usually asks for 2. So I'm just going to cut everything in half and make a half batch instead of a whole batch of cookies. So first things first. So it calls for 2 1/4 cup of flour. So I'm just going to do 1, and then I'm going to kind of guess on the 1/8 of a cup of flour. So got my bowl, and we're gonna do some measuring. So I don't know about you, if there's anything else that you really like to bake, or if maybe that's something that you learned in quarantine, of just things that you like to do. I know a lot of people got into cooking more this season, learning new recipes. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff out there. Okay, so that was 1 cup. And then this is a 1/4 cup, so I'm just going to kind of guess that it's somewhere in the middle. I am obviously not a precise baker. Some people are, and they need it to be to the T. If that is you, measure away. I'm sure your chemistry and science teachers really appreciate that. All right, so I've got my flour in there. Okay, next I'm going to add in my baking soda and my salt, and it calls for a teaspoon, so I'm just going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. So this one is my 1/2 teaspoon. Got my salt. And pour that in there, so there's that. And then my baking soda. Where did I set you down? Right here. Alright, pour it in. Woo. Alright, so there's my baking soda. So I did that. And I'm not like a brand snob on most things, so even though this is the Nestle Toll House cookie recipe, I'm just using chocolate chips that I got from Costco because they come in this gigantic bag. So don't feel like you also, even though it's the Nestle Toll House cookie recipe, you don't have to use like the name brand stuff. All right, and I kind of already made a mess. I spilled my baking soda, so we're gonna get my spatula, and we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go ahead and mix those few first dry ingredients, that flour and the salt and the baking soda. All right, so that's pretty mixed right there. So we're good to go. Next thing we're gonna do is we are going to beat, and I have a mixer. This was my grandmother's mixer, so I'm super thankful to have it. I only got it recently, so I'm going to use it. But if you don't have a mixer, I have been making these cookies for years just by hand. Just a spoon, one spoon, spatula, whatever you got, in a bowl. You don't have to have anything fancy. So we are going to be beating together our butter. So I'm just using one stick because remember I'm cutting things in half. And then that's going to be sugar, brown sugar, and the vanilla extract. So I don't think my butter is quite soft, so I'm going to soften it in the microwave. So let's stick it in there for like 30 seconds. What that does. And then it's going to be, the recipe calls for a 3/4 cup of both sugar and brown sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I'm going to, again, kind of gauge about half of that for both of those things. Got my bowl here, so I can go ahead and start measuring those things out. I'm going to reuse my little 1/4 cup measuring thing. I'm making lots of messes, as you can tell. Messes are good, messes are fine, they happen. Let's clean them up. Alright, so here's another one, and then another half. So, there we go. Just put that in there. I'm gonna clean up my mess real quick. I'll clean that up later. Alright, let's see how my butter is doing. Alright, looks much softer now. And then, oh, my vanilla extract, need that too. So, I'm just gonna kind of chop it into pieces, maybe make it blend a little bit easier as opposed to just being in that one giant stick form. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, so I've got that. That's done. And then my vanilla, so again, I like Costco. Sorry, this is not supposed to be an ad for Costco. But since I bake a lot, so I just got the big bottle. All right, so I'm sticking it in half. So this is my half right here. The other fun part about baking, besides it just being like a relaxing activity, is that at the end, you have a sweet treat, which is really nice. And for me, I also don't think I really need all these cookies, so I'm probably gonna go share them with my neighbors upstairs. And that's the other cool part about baking, is that you can share it with other people. And it can just be like a sweet treat, something to maybe brighten their day. Yeah, and especially like in times like right now when people just need a little something, you know? Just a cookie goes a long way, trust me. All right, so I've got my butter, sugar, brown sugar, and the extract. So I'm gonna go and blend this, beat this together. We'll keep an eye on that for a second. And so what's gonna happen next is we are going to put in, it's normally 2 eggs, so I'm just gonna do 1. And then we're gonna slowly put our flour mixture in there. The flour, seriously, go light if you're actually using a mixer of some kind, because otherwise flour will just like go everywhere. So pro tip, yes, you're gonna ease it in, don't just dump it all in at once. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Looking pretty good. Alright, so then I'm gonna go ahead, crack this, throw it in there. slowly start putting our flour mixture in there, and if I do this poorly, you'll get to see a fun surprise about the Alright, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I'll let you see this stuff. Alright, that is starting to look like cookie dough. Hooray! Alright. Put that in there. Alright. So this is, I'll probably mix it a little bit more, but this is what it's looking like. So it's starting to look like cookie dough. Hooray! And so our last piece is going to be the chocolate chips. So again, that recipe, it calls for 2 cups, which if you just buy a bag of chocolate chips, that's what you just throw the whole bag in there. And you can totally put in more if you want. Since I've got my giant Costco bag, I'm just going to measure out a cup up there. So this is flour covered, but you know, whatever. Here's my cup of chocolate chip. So we're gonna put that in there and mix it more. Alright, I think we are good on the mixing. So, the oven, I believe, is up to that 375. And then the next part is to put it in the oven. So, some people like to stop here and just eat the cookie dough. I can't endorse that because, you know, eggs, you can get sick from that, but in your own house, I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do. So just cleaning this off so I can juice as much as possible. Great. And there's our cookie dough. So this is also really easy to save. So if you don't want to make all of the cookies at once, you can make a few, you know, however many will fit on a pan at once. So I've got my pan, got my cookie dough, and so I'm just gonna measure it out. And you can use whatever you want. You can use your hands to ball it into a cookie shape. I have this little cookie baller thing. You can use a spoon. You can use whatever. So again, no fancy tools necessary. So what we're gonna do is I just scoop it out. And then you want them to be like at least an inch apart because they're of course gonna spread out once they're actually in the oven. And I usually will do like 2 in a row and then like 3 so that they're staggered. So I think you can kind of see down here at the bottom of the screen. But this thing is so cool. It's like an ice cream scoop but for cookies. I think that might be its only sole purpose is to scoop cookies, and I'm okay with that. So this sheet is probably going to hold, let's see, 10 cookies. I could probably maybe fit another couple in there if I really wanted to. If you have more than one cookie sheet, you can of course, use the double layers in your oven to cook more at one time. I'm just gonna stick with these 10 for now. So I'm gonna put these in here. The recipe says for 9 to 11 minutes. So I usually go on the lighter side. So I will probably stop them around 9 minutes, take a little peek at them because I like them a little softer. If you like them a little crunchier or harder, just keep them in there a little bit longer. So here we go. So we're gonna stick that in there. I set my timer. And we'll see it in 9 minutes. Okay, so I forgot to mention that while my cookies are baking, for those 9 minutes, that's usually when I clean up, which actually cleaning can also be another stress reliever for a lot of people. So I use this opportunity as a time to just clean up. That way, when the cookies are done, there's only like the pan is what's left to clean, and I feel much better getting to eat my cookies when all the work is done. So that's just something that I do. All right, guys, so the cookies are done. The timer went off. Looked at them. They look great. Oh, I don't know if you could see the water from my hands just falling over there. Pretty cool. So it's clean. All right, so I'm gonna take them out and we're gonna take a look. So here they are. So I'm gonna see. But yeah, it's like pretty good cookies. Yeah, a little nice and light gold brown. Get the edges look kind of crispy. So these will need to cool for like 5-ish minutes before anybody gets to eat them. And I'm gonna get to have a cookie and take some upstairs, to the neighbors. So thanks for letting me bake cookies with you. In the comments below, I'd love to hear, what your favorite thing to bake is and who you're gonna share your cookies with. All right, thanks for staying tuned, and I'll hopefully see you all soon. Okay, bye.